Good morning, St. John's. Happy Easter again. It is day 8 of the 50-day Easter season, and each year on this 8th day of the Easter season, we hear the same story about the same disciple. Doubting Thomas, he's called. I really feel for him, poor guy. He gets such a bad rap, getting looked down upon because he didn't believe without seeing. And yet now, in our contemporary society, we don't believe without seeing. We love evidence. In academia, it's cited peer-reviewed sources. In pop culture, it's receipts in form of screenshots. In public life, it's having body cameras on cops. Believing without seeing is countercultural. So I don't blame Thomas at all for not believing his fellow disciples when they said they had seen something truly supernatural. They had seen and talked to Jesus even though they were present when he was murdered a week earlier. Thomas couldn't believe it. "No way," he said. "Not unless I see him for myself." And God heard that, and God obliged. God showed up for Thomas, literally, so that he would have what he needed to believe. I'm a lot like Thomas. I had a very hard time believing in this whole resurrection thing for a very long time. That is, until God showed up for me. So I'll tell you this story. When I was in middle school and my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, through when I was in high school, I didn't really go to church. I had a lot of doubts. This is like, I was really doubting Thomas. I was like, I don't know about all this. When I was about 15, 16, my mom's health had been declining, and my dad and my stepmom had encouraged me to go through the confirmation process at my church. And I was like, no, I don't believe this stuff. That wouldn't be sincere. And I was pretty much told, like, hey, your mom's not going to be here to see you get married or have kids. She's here now. She can see you get confirmed. And so I was doing it. I met with my priest to complain about all the things in the catechism and the BCP that I was like, how could anyone possibly believe this? This is insane. And yet I still was confirmed. A year or so later, when my mom died, she had put what I think is an unusual request in her will, which was that my brother and I each bury an item of significance with her. So I was thinking and looking through things in my closet, trying to assign meaning to something to have it feel like it was the right thing. And despite the fact that I had never wanted to be confirmed, and I didn't do it for myself, I had always kept my confirmation card that the bishop signs, right on my desk in a prime place. It's kind of odd that I didn't throw it in a drawer and forget about it, but it was right there. And my stepmom was helping me trying to pick something out. And she pointed it out. She pointed out the confirmation card. And she said, "Didn't you do that for her? How about that?" I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. I got confirmed for my mom. I don't believe any of this anymore. I'll bury my confirmation card with her. I was burying my faith. I was done. I was walking away from it. And so I did. I buried my confirmation card with my mom. A little over a year later, then when I was a freshman in college, I went to visit my cousin for spring break. I still very much was not believing things, had a lot of doubts. I wasn't going to church on my own, but my older cousin was was going to church, and she was paid to sing in a choir. And so I went along with her because I wanted to hang out with her. And that Sunday, I mean, looking back now, it's nothing other than God calling me back. That's the only way I can describe it. I was sitting in a pew towards the back by myself while my cousin was up with the choir in the chancel. And I don't remember the readings or anything like that, but the sermon, that it was a guest preacher that they preached, they mentioned a specific story about a friend of the preacher's who had watched their mom die of Alzheimer's. And the preacher told this specific story of their mom coming down and turning on a gas stove in the middle of the night, and the child had to turn it off. And that was something I did when I was 14. My mom would get up and do things in the middle of the night, and I had to go undo them to make sure we were safe. And so I'm weeping in the pew because I'm like, you're talking about my life. This is my life. This happened to me. And so leaving there, I was like, okay, God, you have my attention. I don't know what you want from me, but I believe that you're real. Like, I'll concede that fact. And over the coming years, I discerned a call to the priesthood, and now I'm in seminary and I'm preaching about this experience. When I look back on it now, God resurrected my faith. This is my experience of resurrection. I buried my confirmation card. I buried my faith. I said, this is done and over. And God said, not quite. Not quite. I'm going to call you back. And your faith is going to come alive again, and it's going to mean something again. I offer this story to you to express just how okay and normal it is to have doubts. Having doubts, wanting proof, feeling weary about Jesus's incredible resurrection is nothing new. God is used to it. God has been used to it since the first day 8 of the Easter season. Heck, even before that, on the first Easter itself, when Mary Magdalene arrived and couldn't believe what she was seeing. So, whenever you find yourself having doubts, you don't need to be afraid or ashamed. Your questions and uncertainty is nothing that God can't handle. God will show up for you. You may not see it coming. I sure didn't. I kind of doubt Thomas did. They were in a locked house and Jesus walked through a wall, I guess. And maybe you won't recognize it right away. The disciples didn't. I didn't. But the promise of resurrection remains. God will show up for you, and God will love you through all of your doubts. Amen.